Buenos dias. Guys, we are in Vatican City. We are. Look, we're in Vatican City. Doesn't get any better than this. So guys, check it out. This is my very first, sorry, I'm just fixing my camera here. This is my very first conclave experience. I'm a convert. I didn't go through this as a convert. I'm sorry, as a Protestant rather, before I converted. So I was not going to do a live stream on the conclave because everybody and their mom and their dog and the mailman was going to do it. And then a lot of people, a lot of people said, you got to do it. I'm like, all right. Well, today came around and I'm like, this is a big deal. Like, this is more than a big deal. This isn't just like, hierarchical logistics and voting. I mean, this is more than, think about how hyped we get for the presidential election. And that's ridiculous American politics. So yeah, this is, I'm pumped. I'm psyched. We're going to have a 48-hour live stream with me. It's all right. I'm on a crystal meth binge. This is day 2, so we're fine. It's going to work. But yeah, I'm pumped, guys. I can't wait. So baby steps, guys. It's my first conclave. It's my very first conclave. So they're voting, they're in the Sistine Chapel, right? And they're in the process of voting now. We will get at least some smoke, right? Black or white. Probably be black. Yeah? But we will get smoke today, right? Can someone substantiate that with me? Yeah, it's my first conclave. Okay. I didn't go and do a bunch of research and write a bunch of bibliographies on the conclave. I know the basic, the fundamental, elementary truths of the conclave. But we will get smoke, right? And I'm not talking, guys, I'm not talking marijuana smoke. I'm talking smoke from the ballots. Okay. It's going to rise. And we're going to know something, at least, if they have or have not found a new papa. Mia papa. Right? So, what else? Anybody have a prediction? We got to make predictions. Let's make our bets. Come on. This is like the Final Four, right? Fill out your brackets, make your bets, put some money on it, have some fun. Who's your money on? You got to pick somebody, just one person. Be like, this is going to be the person that's going to do it, or that's going to win. I want to know. Come on. Odd is in the house. Odd, are you at work? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Great minds think alike. Okay. So our first one, Filipino guy. The cardinal that sang Imagine in a bar? No, not in a bar. A condensed version of John Lennon's Imagine. Okay. Pasta pizza, pizza bala. Everyone's picking him, right? Okay. So that's the new name, but who's it gonna be? Pick and choose. I love that name. I love new faces and I love great handle names. Pick and choose. Did you just come up with that today? That is great. I need you on my channel. Okay. I need you. Pick and choose. Okay. Aveline. All right. So you guys want to hear who I'm going with? It's a dark horse. It's a dark horse of dark horses. I'm gonna go with Dolan, and I'm gonna give you a reason. I'm gonna give you a few reasons. I'm not just going, oh, he's American and blah 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 blah. All right. How many precedents did we break with Pope Francis? First Jesuit, first Western Hemisphere Pope, first Latin American Pope, right? First, well, Pope Francis was Italian, right? They emigrated to Argentina, him and his parents and siblings. But nonetheless, he grew up in Argentina. But I think hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I don't care if you're memeing. I don't care if you're memeing or not. And here we got no American will be chosen. You guys are 99% right, okay? That's why I said a dark horse. Okay, so the precedent was broken. We went to the West and elected a Western cardinal, a Western bishop. Okay, so there's that. Latin America, why not North America? Okay, now here's the thing. Pope Francis, he appointed how many cardinals? Can someone Google that for me? I think it's around 100. How many cardinals did Pope Francis appoint during his pontificate who are still alive and who are still in that Sistine Chapel right now voting? How many? Come on. Give it to me. Here's a new name. First Protestant Pope incoming. Wait. You're saying that Cardinal Dolan is Protestant? Bro. Dude, you're going to have to take a step back. So 108, right? Now, just because Pope Francis elected 108 cardinals doesn't mean that they're Pope Francis followers or the same schools of thought, the same charisms, the same pastoral motives and all that stuff, okay? It doesn't mean that. But nonetheless, he did elect 108 of them. So there could be an element in wanting to elect a pope that is in continuity with Pope Francis's motives. I don't want to say agenda, but you know what I mean? His pastoral direction. If you know anything about Cardinal Dolan, he's very pastoral and very ecumenical. I mean, that encapsulates him as a person and as a cardinal. So if there's going to be someone that continues Pope Francis's pontificate in those respects, why not Cardinal Dolan? I know it's like a 1 in 500 odds that he would get elected. So I'm just saying, that's who I'm going with. Okay. You can call me naive or overzealous. I don't care. I'm going with it. And if he is elected, oh my gosh, dude, the whole world will erupt. I need to read more of he has a few works out, some books. I know everyone's really gung-ho on Cardinal Sarah from Guinea. I'm just going to say this because I was the biggest Pope Francis supporter you will ever meet. And he said a few things. He took a few jabs at Pope Francis, which, whatever. I'm not soft, okay? But I just thought it was imprudent. And I'm like, dude, come on. And yeah, so I don't know. Everyone deems him as, the conservative, we run a tight ship, theologically kind of cardinal. Okay. Sure. All right. Francis made a lot of missionary type people cardinals. Interesting. You got to understand about Pope Francis, right? So as supreme pontiff and pastor of the entire church, the physical head of the church on earth, juridically, his responsibility is confined within the Catholic Church, right? His flock. But remember, Jesus said, not this flock only, I have other sheep that are going to come in. Well, Pope Francis was the epitome of ecumenism in trying to witness and evangelize to people of other faiths, Christian denominations, and churches. I would almost say more than St. John Paul II. Okay, you can argue with me on that. I don't know. You can argue with me on that. And then it's in that milieu that I think perhaps the next elected pope will continue that. Because, guys, not only are we divided in the church, the whole world is a mess. just all over. It doesn't, whatever Christian denomination or other faith, it's just a mess. It's just a hot cesspool. And we need someone with strong leadership. You know what I mean? That sets the tone and the precedent for all of us to evangelize in an ecumenical and charitable spirit. Yeah, good job. Jay Pendragon, dude, you super chatted me like 10 super chats the other night, and then you took off. You probably had to go. It's all good. But I answered every one of them, but you were gone. But thank you for those super chats. I said a Hail Mary for each one for you. Okay. So, oh, congratulations. Welcome home, everybody. Well, if you're okay with it, if you want to say your first name, we'll all say a Hail Mary for you. We almost got 50 people in here. Missouri, that's right next to me. I'm in Wichita, Kansas. Okay. So you show me your state from the show me state. Show me your name, rather. Show me your name from the show me state, and I'll show you 49 Hail Marys. I mean, granted that they'll listen to me. Paulina, ¿cómo estás? How's it going? Hello, how's everyone doing? I just came from Sips with Sarah stream to see what's going on here. Oh, everyone's just bouncing back and forth between streams. Why don't you go back on Sips with Sarah stream and tell them I say, what up, son? Tell them I say, hey, playa, how we doing? Kelly, I think that's a new face. Are you fishing? Or are you at work? What did you catch there? It looks like a smallmouth bass. Oh, right on. Yeah, I haven't seen it. That's the one with Anthony Hopkins. Oh, Bishop Barron. Bishop Barron gave a review on that. And he said that they misrepresented Pope Benedict XVI like no other. Like he was just this hard-nosed theologian that didn't really care about mercy and love, but just, strict, just justice and yeah. But yeah, you should watch that. Yeah, please like and subscribe, guys, if you're new to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Laura. Appreciate that. JP2, St. John Paul II had philosopher, cardinals. Benedict had theologians. Francis had missionaries. Yeah, I don't know. You probably know more than I would on that. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know about that. You're probably right, though. How short was the fastest conclave? I think it was 2 hours, if I recall. The longest one was 3 years. Someone can fact check that. I'm pretty sure the fastest was 2 hours. 2 hours. So, guys, okay. 99.999% we won't get white smoke today. Okay? But you never know. You never know. That's why we're here. Okay? That's why we're here. Rumor has it. Fortnite. I have 1 kill in that game. My niece used to play it, and I played it, and I killed 1 person. I'm getting paid to take pictures of shelves. DoorDash is hilarious. Shelves? Like at a grocery store? What do you mean, man? Retro, my boy. Good to see you. My Ohio guy. Conclave speed run. Yeah, can we do this in like 2.0 speed? I mean, I know it's live, right? But you know what I'm saying? It's possible. We might need some hallucinogenics, but 2.0 live? Yes, God works in mysterious ways. Or does he? Are they just mysterious to us because of our dulled and sullied consciences? October of 1503, it lasted just a few hours, like you said. Boom. Thanks, Laura. Guys, Laura is an ex-Jehovah's Witness turned converted Catholic. God be praised. Laura, did you know just the other day I had a Jehovah's Witness come to my door for the first time in my whole life? He handed me a pamphlet. Oh, gosh, I don't have it. And I'm like, hey, we should talk. He's like, yeah, I'll come back and talk. Because I guess he was just handing out pamphlets. But first time. And if he comes back, I'm going to record it with his permission, obviously. And we're going to have a formal moderated debate on the hypostatic union of Christ. And this, yeah. Have you read Father Emmanuel Doronzo? Yeah, twice last year. I have not. Can you tell me who he is and what school of thought he comes from, please? Por favor. Yeah, potato. No, I'm pretty sure it's a couple hours. That's possible. Yes. Andres, guys, please subscribe. This dude right here. Let's go chat what Pope names we rooting for, okay? I would like for you guys to be somewhat original like Pope Francis was in choosing the first name of Francis. Do you know a little story? When he became Pope and chose the name Francis, right? You know, most people thought he meant St. Francis de Sales. Or I'm sorry, St. Francis Xavier. Sorry. Why would people think that why would people assume St. Francis Xavier as the name Pope Francis chose? Little trivia quiz. It's not that hard, but why do you think that? Come on, talk to me. Why do you think people assumed that Pope Francis chose Francis? Because exactly. Yeah, it wasn't hard. But yeah, it's because he was a Jesuit. Bro, stop. You're going to make me blush. Thank you, Retro. I feel like, you know what? I feel like I should give you just 100 Hail Marys for that. Thanks for setting the precedent, too, for all my other viewers. 100 Hail Marys. I really just should for you, Retro. How about this? I will pray a whole rosary for you. I will. I will pray a whole rosary for you for the success of your store and life and well-being, happiness. You're my boy, Retro. Darren. He's the man, guys. He makes my channel run. Pope Leon. Wait, what happened? Pope Leon? Yes, good job, Eusebius, except Andres beat you to it. He was a Thomist who thought that the Catholic University of America, who taught at the Catholic University of America. I'm about to read his manual, The Science of Sacred Theology. That sounds dope, man. Yeah, it is. His name was St. Francis, or he took his name after St. Francis of Assisi, but it was assumed by everybody that was St. Francis Xavier. Missionary goat. Bah. Pope Cyril? Which Cyril? I believe if the conclave goes longer than 5 days, Dolan is the new papa. Bordeaux, if the conclave is only a few days long. Again, my guy's Dolan. It's more than 99% that he won't. But what the heck? You know? What the heck? Kelly, good to see you. Been following you for several months. I was turned on to you from How to Be Christian. That was a small bluegill sunfish last spring. Nice. Wait, so you heard of my channel from How to Be Christian? Or what do you, like, you were turned on? Yeah, I got you, man. That's awesome. He's my boy. Pope Innocent. We've had Pope Innocent, so I think we're going to have... What Pope Innocent are we... What number are we at now? I think buying Hail Marys is a kind... Dude, come on. It's not... No, that's not what you're doing. Yeah, I will pray that you pray more Hail Marys. No, you weren't buying a rosary or Hail Marys for me. But yeah, seriously. Gosh, now that you think of it, does anyone else think that's weird that if you give me a super chat, I'll pray for you? I mean, if it is, I'll stop. But I just thought... I never thought of it like that. Simony. Simony or Simony? It was Simon the Magnus, but yeah. Pope Pints of Aquinas, nice. Pope Matt Frad. Retro, let me know if you want to open a store in Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, do you want to be a Canuck, Retro? If you do, there you go. I never want to open another store again. I don't have the energy. Yeah, the stress, dude. It's like me but starting another channel. Like, yeah, that's for the birds. St. Catherine of Siena, pray for us for a holy pope. Oh my gosh, dude. Her memorial, her feast day was just last week, and I did a stream and I talked about her for like 20 minutes. She is, guys. We should almost put the great after her name. I mean, if you look at everything, the whole picture of St. Catherine of Siena's life and what she did and experienced and wrote, and she's a doctor. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. Okay, here's a weird question. You guys might think I'm silly. Why couldn't an elected pope take the name of a female saint? I mean, is it all that crazy? Are you guys going to come at me with the feminism? I got the energy, you got the money. Pope Cyril, come on. Scholastic Verity. Tell me you came from Wagner's channel. You found me from Wagner or something. I have no idea. I don't think it'll be a new name. It'll be a predecessor's name. And that predecessor's name will probably, I'm just going to go, I'm going to go Pius. Yeah, I'm going to go Pius, but I don't know which one we are. Are we on 13? Someone's going to have to help me with that. Daxter. It's okay. It's okay. It's funny, right? We can laugh at that. Dude, nice. That dude. Right there. Jesuit missionary. Awesome. Dude, you get brownie points with that one. That's very unique. Very unique. That's a low IQ correlation. How would I like to be called if I were elected pope? I kind of think it has to go with either like, it's interesting, like how does a pope select that? They discern, they pray about, like, it's got to resonate with their pontificate and what they're trying to do for the church at that given time, right? It's not just random. Oh, I like this name. You know, phonetically it sounds, you know, popish or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, you know, got to have some meaning behind it. Gosh. So I think I would take it after some sort of missionary. Actually, wait, let's back that up. So I think the problem that we have today is more within the church than outside the church. So we need a pope that's going to unify in a way that, wait, who is the saint? Think about the saints that cured or prevented or deterred schisms. Someone help me out with that. I'm thinking of oh gosh. I'll get back to you on that one. I gotta think about it. Hi, Danielle. Yeah, Pope Michael. I'm down. Dude, an angel? Why not? Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Yeah, dude. I'm with it. How backed up am I? I don't think so. I don't think you could do Pope Adolf Hitler. I think that one's out of the... Ooh, Maximilian. That's dope. So it is Pius the 13th. I was right. Okay. I figured. Yeah. Pope James White. Yikes. I mean, it's got to be a saint or a predecessor, right? Right? Can someone fact check that? It's the same confusion distinction as buying indulgences versus getting an indulgence because of a donation. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. That's actually, yes. I like that, Pendragon. That was worth $5 for telling me that. Right. Right on. Okay, so let's play a game. You're elected pope. You have to choose a female name. You have to. But you can't choose our Blessed Mother Mary. You can't. Come on, give me your best shots. Papa John, yeah, that'd be a cool one. Pope Mormon. Oh boy. Do not laugh at the prophet. Okay. Wagner for Pope. Hey, he could be a pope. He's male. He's not a snail. He gets his mail. What? I don't know enough about Islam to debate it, let alone a cardinal. Was it really? I did not know that either. Okay, guys, just be nice and ecumenical. We do have a gentleman who's Mormon in here, so just come on. Let's all be loving like Christ. Pope Augustine would be amazing. Oh my gosh, that would be just ridiculously amazing. I would hope nobody chooses a name from 20th or 21st century. Well, prior to that, maybe Leo 14th or Urban the 14th. Or I'm sorry, Urban the 9th. Or go old school and use Clement to tie it back to St. Clement of Rome. I like Clement. That's pretty dope. How many Clements are there? Pope Maroon? St. Peter something, what? I don't really know much about popes. It's all good, man. Just make sure you're docile to the Holy Father and that you don't dissent. Saints Pontian and Hippolytus are associated with defending the truth and seeking reconciliation, particularly with other countries. There we go. Thanks, Laura. I'd probably choose there. Okay, we got Therese. Amazing. Which one, though? I mean, I'm assuming Therese of Lisieux. Macrina. Dude, pick it. Guys, are you subscribed? Pick and choose. Are you subscribed? Anyone with a great handle name must subscribe. Oh my gosh, I saw a little smoke. Psych! Sorry. Pope Joan of Arc, nice. We need unity in the church and strict observance. Thomism, very important. Okay, can I give a little I might get a little flack or a little clap back. Not an attack, Jack. Right? Guys, I love St. Thomas Aquinas just as much as everybody else. I have profound admiration of that school of thought. I think it's unparalleled. But like, if you're a Thomist or an aspiring Thomist, I mean, is there a temptation to idolize Thomism or to become too infatuated with it? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend, okay? And I'm not insinuating that you are scholastic. Sorry. Yeah, that was me. Pope Sarah. Pope Michael Teresa would be perfect, especially with rising war tension all over the world. I like the male-female combo there. I really do. Therese, Joan of Arc, Kateri. Ooh, Kateri. Pope Terry. Terry Benedict. Yeah, man, that's cool. I mean, we're just, you know, we're just talking silly, looking stupid, you know? Faustina, Drexel, St. Catherine Ann Drexel. First American-born canonized saint after St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. I'm Ron Burgundy. Pope Dipna, I pray to her every day. Faustina, 100%. Papa Rafka. The Mahdi for Pope. VA. Perpetua, nice. Jude. Dude, Pope Jude. It's short, it's simple, and he's an amazing saint. Oh, I love it. Any name? Really? Any name. So it could be Pope Theo Vaughn. Okay, guys, now let's open it up. What name are you picking? Can be any name. Pope Pat for St. Patrick. Oh, thank you. First conclave, guys. Baby steps with me, okay? I'm learning. It's my very first thing. This stuff I don't really research much, okay? I'm more of like theology, apologetics, biblical scholarship stuff. No problem. We forgive you. We always forgive right away. At work and just tuning in last time I was an active Catholic. St. John Paul II was Pope. Such a fascinating time. See, I've never had this experience. Never have I had this experience as a Catholic. Okay, I want smoke. You guys remember the Up and Smoke tour? That's this. This is the Up and Smoke tour 2025. Pope Manasseh. Yeah, I like that. I don't think you'll get too far with discussion with the Jehovah's Witness. It opens them to truth and off their oral. Yeah, I know, but you can plant seeds and then pray, as long as it's charitable. Dude, nice. Pro-life Chloe. Good to see you here. How's your channel going? Nice. Y'all subscribe, guys. Guys, make me laugh. Every time you make me laugh, I'll take a shot. Pope Mike Gendron. Jonathan, subscribe right now, or I'm going to find you, okay? What's that in your picture? Is that a Lego? Or is that you? Pope Faustino. Faustino, yeah, forget about it. I almost got whacked the other day. Wait, what? Who are you talking about, Daniel Ward? There have been pious and innocent. What other virtues should be Pope named? Oh, I see what you're saying. Prudence. Pope Prudence. Yeah, that works. Pope Linus. Cletus Clement. Wait, what? You actually got me to switch tabs back with that. What? I don't know what you're saying. Oh, Oscar's in here. He's in here with his emoticons. No, because Thomism is correct to be believed by all. Dude, I'm not arguing against that. That wasn't my question. My question is, can you idolize it and turn it into an ideology to the exclusion of others outside of that school of thought? That's where I'm like, Well, yeah, it puffs up. Guys, knowledge puffs up. So an aspiring Thomist, I'm not saying that is automatically inherently going to puff you up and you're going to become arrogant, scholastic theologian. But that temptation is going to be there every single day if you're an aspiring Thomist. I'm just saying. Right on. I have no disagreement. Yeah, Christopher. Wonder how it would have been in my household if my grandma was well brushed up on her. Colombia. I don't like Colombians. I'm quoting a movie, by the way. I love Colombians. I don't like Colombians. Taylor Marshall would be... Oh, my gosh. What do you guys think about Pope Taylor Marshall? Pope Aquinas, that'd be cool. Thomism is infallible. There are a few things that I've read of his that... not a lot. And who am I to call out St. Thomas Aquinas? I'm not even in his league. Pope Bob. What about Bob? Pope Simon. How far back am I? Pope Matthew. Pope Jude. I'm so backed up. This is crazy. Pope Origen. I don't know about that one, man. He died outside of the jurisdiction of the Catholic Church. He's not a church father. He's an ecclesiastical writer. Pope Mike Winger. Well, by the way, I love Origen. I'm not trying to dunk on him, by the way. Yeah, man. Theo Vaughn. That dude is like an alien. Oh, man. Pope John Paul II the First. Yes. Say that 5 times fast. Pope John Calvin. It's already been taken, so you got to go the first or the second. Pope Pio. That'd be dope. This is my first conclave since I came back to the church. The first I paid any attention to, but I'm also trying not to have an opinion on it. LOL. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't indifferent, but they just let it play out. And when the white smoke comes, then it's, hey, we got a new pope. You know what I'm saying? Pray for the new pope. Yeah, I hear you. We're just here having fun. Theology is very EPC. Is that Alpha Gen Z? What is that? Peter Diamond for the next pope. That's hilarious. Pope Andrew, yeah. I would pick Pope Noah because he built the ark and saved every creature. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, what about an Old Testament patriarch or... Okay, I hear bells. What is that? You guys hear bells? Oh, dude, that was an ambulance. Psych. How far back am I in my comments? Pope John's. Dude, this is... Don't call me dude. I'm not a stoner anymore. I'm just kidding. Dude, this is the first conclave I'm in the hyper-connected social media world. This must be so new. Must be new to so many people around the world. Yes, especially, yeah, because social media really took off during Pope Francis's pontificate. I mean, yeah, you got seeds in St. John Paul II, and then it was starting to really take form as Pope Benedict XVI. But oh my gosh, during Pope Francis, yeah. Pope Anathema. We got a dog, and I was actually going to name my dog Anathema. If you don't believe me, Pope Boniface chopping down trees. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Pope Love. Pope Caritas. I love it. Pope Hilarious. Yeah, a lot of seeds getting planted. Dumbledore, Pope Jerome, Pope Trump. Oh my gosh. Pope Sigma. You said smoke. Haha, just kidding. That's what made me switch tabs. Did I? Oh, sorry. How many tabs you got open? Am I one of 20 commentators? Oh, here we go. I told you I'd get flack. I told you I'd get a clap back. I think being a neo-scholastic in the modern world is imperative for having good Catholic doctrine. No, it's not. The teachings of the angelic doctor and the traditional commentators shall win in the end. Oh, okay. I take that back. I think I misread your statement. I would agree, actually, with that. As the foundation and the base, I would agree with that. I'm sorry, I misread that. I acted hastily. Please forgive me. But that doesn't mean you have to be a Thomist. It doesn't mean that and this isn't like to the exclusion. And you're not saying this is to the exclusion of other scholastics, theologians, doctors, and stuff. I know that you're not saying that. No Thomist would, but can we overemphasize St. Thomas? I don't think we can. So yeah, I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Pope Ambrose. Yes, someone got my quote. Dude, that's amazing. Wise Lion, are you subscribed? You got to be subscribed. More Scarface quotes coming at you. Pope Ignatius, that'd be dope. Pope Diamond, yep. Banjo, that's a paradox, right? Pope Sete, yeah, right. Chat is great right now. Dope, I love it. Let's keep the chat. Hey guys, keep it up. Pope Bob, Taylor Marshall's already his own pope. I'm not gonna argue with that. Pope Love, Pope Luther. Yikes. Pope James White, Taylor Marshall sounds like a department store. Marshalls, yeah. Pope Origen was in response to the comment that they can take any name. Yes, yeah. No. I'm not trying to. I was just, yeah. You're right. You're going to regret the way you look, I guarantee. There have been 12 pi. Is that the plural for pious? Scholasticus? Scholasticus, man. Glad you're in here. We're going to have to get some people up here because this is, I'm not just going to talk all day. Scholasticus, maybe we'll get you up here. Anybody else? Why don't you raise your hand or say me if you want to come up here and talk smack. Right. Faustina. Right. Gosh, how backed up am I? I am too. That's why we're here. Pope Moses would be cool. You should be sorry. Get a new keyboard. Kidding. But am I kidding? 10:30. Pope Judas. Yeah. Wait. You could qualify that. Jude. St. Jude. Oh, I heard it. What was that? Did you hear that noise? Did you hear it? Nope, that was just me. That was my stomach. Sounded like bells, I know. I don't know how back up. Oh, gosh, this is bad. Can someone substantiate that? I agree with everything except he didn't die outside the church. You could be right. I don't know. Someone substantiate that. Pope Larry, Cardinal Mikola Bajcek. I sent this back here. 12, so 4 minutes. Okay, I'm hurrying. Pope Athanasius would be amazing. Oh, right on. Actually, I read that in his book. I don't know why I didn't pick that up. Pope Sigma, Pope. Oh gosh, Vigano. Yikes. True. Just scroll. Well, no, I want to get to all your comments. Pope Bonaventure. Right there. That's who I'm going with. I was just rating for the right saint, the nomenclature, the phonetics, the pizzazz, the way it rolls off the tongue, the syllables. Pope Bonaventure. Guys, there's nothing better. Tell me there's something better than Pope Bonaventure. Oh my gosh. Andres, how come I don't see you more often, my friend? Hey, right. I don't disagree with that. But that still doesn't mean you've died in the jurisdiction of the church. You know what I'm saying? Are you saying he wasn't formally excommunicated? Thomas More, I love him. Pray to him every day. Nice. Pope Isaiah. Pope Joe Pesci. I like him in Casino more than I do in Goodfellas. You can hate me for that. Pope Dominic. Based. Sound like I'm 20. Based. If you guys want me to say some Gen Z jargon, super chat it and I will say whatever you want. Pope Joshua would be cool. Pope Abel, you could. Why not? I just seen a video was found to be uncovered the Latin Knights at the siege of Constantinople. Interesting. No smoke yet? I don't know. I've been vaping since I woke up. What about you? No, I'm just kidding. I've been smoking marijuana. No smoke from me, and we haven't seen any smoke. Dude, I love your name and your profile picture. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're all in this together, okay? I wonder, bro, what's up with your keyboard? If the Cardinals up for election have picked their names beforehand. That's a good question. I would think they maybe have entertained the idea, but I don't think they would take it seriously until they actually get elected and pray and go into the weeping room. You know what I'm saying? I just want it to be a pope name that hasn't been used. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I loved about Pope Francis. Like, let's have some originality, some creativity. Okay, hold on. Let me just get caught up and you can come on. You and Scholasticus can come up. I don't think anyone else does. My Pope Vinny. Joe Pesci's nice. Pope Judas, not Iscariot. Got it. Dude, I hear about this Pine Sap guy. Who is this and where is he? I know he used to be tight with, or probably still is tight with Christian Wagner, right? Pine Sap. I want to know more of this guy. Talk to me. Yes, thank you. Oh boy. Kinda, right? The conspiracies would grow rampant. Oh my gosh. So, we already have some, well, they're not really closet conspiracists, but, with how, the conclave works and all the behind the scenes, the Freemasonry, just all this stuff, all the prophecies and private revelations and just, yeah. Oh, bro. They're dying the ballots right now. No Pope today. You don't know that. Eusebius has one of the cardinals' cell phone numbers, and they're texting each other. Actually, it's through Discord. Pope Peter can't do. I don't think you can. Nice. Wait, what is that by the? Oh, it's a trumpet. That sounds German. I don't know who that is. Dude, lobotomized commies. Everybody. That might be the first or second best handle name. Guys, everybody look at the handle name. Look at the picture. That's what I appreciate about doing this, okay? Pope Caesar. Thanks, buddy. I will join my streams, man. Andres, you're going to come up here? Andres. Here, let me go to the bottom. I think I missed like a bunch of super chats. Hold on. Bonaventure, the patron saint of bowel disorders. No, that's Saint Elmo, I thought. If you ever fighting demons on the marble throne, you know. Hold on, I think I missed another super. No, I didn't. I didn't, guys. Wait, did I? Hold on. What did I miss? I think I'm all caught up. Okay. Andres, do you want to come up? Bro, he has a channel. Is it just called Pine Sap? Pope Melchizedek. That's dope. What did I miss? I'm confused. Okay, can we all just really give honor, not honor, but respect at least to Jay Pendragon? Okay, I think he's either an oil tycoon or he smuggles drugs, or he's a drug mule. The dude, I think every time he takes a breath, he super chats me. Pendragon, how can you afford this? Don't feel. I'll try to answer your questions. Don't feel obligated to flood me with those, man. Save some money for some ice cream when we get that white smoke, you know. But yeah, if a cardinal gave that info, he would be excommunicated. Yes, absolutely. Oh, right. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. No, I'm just kidding. Quit your job and come up on here. What's more important? White smoke or your job? Tell me, Andres. What is it? Shoot me straight. Amen. God is truth. I know, right? Protestants, Orthodox, secularists, the whole world. That's because this is where the earthly and humanity converge with divinity in heaven. Right here. Smoke, white smoke. Smoke it up. Puff, puff, pass. Okay? That's a good... Can someone answer that? Because I don't know. I think, was it the second day or third day? Someone please tell me that. A Groiper streamer? Who's a Groiper streamer? All right. Fine. Here's the link. Let's talk some smack. Andres. Are you guys Dyerites or not? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say Wagnerites. I'm so sorry. Are you guys Wagner's pupils coming over here because he's not, live? Sorry. What do you mean, Scholasticus? I don't get it. Did I miss a super chat? No, I didn't. The heck was that? Is that me? All right. There it is. Come one, come all. We're all brothers and sisters. It's the conclave. Come on up here. Okay? We'll talk smart and look stupid. Right? Am I right or am I right? Who's the first one up? You get a prize if you're the first one up. Second day. All these new faces. Guys, really, seriously, you have to subscribe. It feeds my daughters. I wish I had a picture of my daughters. I don't know why I don't have one in here. Okay, Michael Corleone. First one in here. Oh, you guys hear the seagulls? We have a pope. Dude, Andres. Hold on, buddy. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. I'm waiting to start a meeting. I got EWTN on stream.
Yeah,
it's a good day.
What are they saying? EWTN.
They're talking about Francis right now, saying, talking about his sarcophagus or his, what he got set up, the Franciscus.
Yeah. Gosh, there's some wild conspiracies and claims out there.
Yeah. Well, when isn't there?
I know. Yeah. Good point. Hey, I just got to ask, that ceiling fan behind you,
yeah.
Did you get that idea from Redeem Zoomer? Please tell me you did.
I do know about his ceiling crown, his fan, but this thing's been on for the last 4 months. I just don't turn it off.
Okay, so I want to get to know you just a little bit, not in a creepy way, just curiosity. You're obviously Catholic, right? Were you the guy talking about Thomism?
No, I was the one that said my Colombian grandmother, if she knew.
Oh, okay. And where are you living? You don't have to give me like your mailing address, but are you in the States or?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey. I just did my confirmation this Easter.
Bro, nice. Welcome home.
Amen, brother. It took me 14 years. I was a cradle Catholic. And then sometime last year, I just had like visions of hell and all that. And I was thinking like, oh man, your soul is immortal. What happens to it? And then I was like, oh shoot, I think I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
And then from then on, it's just been about, I started learning about God. Then I started looking into the church again. I was baptized. I was raised Catholic. And then I saw like, oh goodness, it's all true. So.
Well, amen. You know, whatever it takes, you know, in a sense, whatever it takes for you to. Okay, what is that? Is that an ambulance again?
Yeah.
It's an ambulance.
Okay, guys, one of the Cardinals just broke his leg. He's getting transported to the local hospital. Sorry. Sorry. It gets me excited though, you know. I hear some noise and I want smoke. Andres, Jersey. Okay. So up there in the neck of the woods, nape of the neck there, I hear, well, it's more maybe the New England area where it gets a little weird with the Catholic Church up there. Like
yeah,
liberalism and all that.
it is pretty like as far as I've tried to search up where can I attend a TLM, for example. We really don't have too many options, so I guess that would be one way I could see it. Now there is actually right across the street from a church, Catholic church, that does have 2 years now. They had like pride masses, come here and receive a blessing. The TFP, they actually came and protested. This was right when I was learning about the faith. I probably stumbled on their video a week later. From then, I've been following them after.
Yeah, that just baffles me, to be honest with you. And so here's the thing, right? We're accepting of every single human person.
Yeah.
But what we aren't accepting of is pushing or subscribing to an ideology represented by a flag and all that milieu that goes with it. That's the problem.
And ultimately, it's it's almost like supporting sin.
Right.
Once the flag is out there, what does that flag symbolize?
Yep.
What do you call it when homosexual acts take place? Not sodomy.
Right. Yeah. Pope Francis was vehemently against any semblance of ideology and pushing that as an agenda.
Yeah.
I miss my man. So are you, again, not to get like too personal, you don't have to answer, but are you married? Are you discerning, or what's your situation?
So I'm engaged now. And it was honestly through my fiance that it began almost the path to finding the faith again. When we were just dating, she had told me like, I want to get married in the church, but you have to do your confirmation. And I was like, what? Like, I don't want to do that at the time. I had like my agnostics around 13 and like walked away from the faith. And then she told me that, and I was like, all right, well, if I have to do this, marry this girl, then I'm not just going to do it willy-nilly. Let me read the Bible or as much as I can, because at that point I knew, like, this is crazy. You're not going to get through it in one sitting. And this was about 2 years ago that I began reading the scripture again. And ultimately, after my conversion really kicked off, I did start having, like, oh, am I being called to the priesthood? Do I have a vocation? But then, ultimately, through prayer and like meditating on it, it just made sense to me that I've been Joseph for my confirmation, and through Joseph, I found that I wanted Joseph. and ultimately led me now to understand my vocation is like, be a good man, be a Christ-like father if God gives us. And yeah, so Joseph, pray for us. He's my man now.
Amen. I'm so glad to hear that. And oh my gosh. And you said you're getting confirmed when?
I got confirmed on 26 on the Feast of Divine Mercy.
Oh, nice. Welcome home, or fully initiated or whatever. But Rutberg, this is not a Catholic channel. Okay, we are Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay. No offense, Laura. I know you're not one anymore. Yeah, this is a Catholic channel. The dude's obviously sarcastic, right?
I don't know, like you said before, all eyes are on the church right now. People from all over could be tuning into streams.
Right. How you said all eyes. Anybody remember the album All Eyes on Me? We need more TLMs in the new pontificate. There should be at least some sort of subtle version to the rubrics according to Vatican II, the Missal 2025. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to, Scholasticus, you should probably come up here and talk with me, okay? We should say the Mass, Novus Ordo, more in Latin than not. We should face ad orientem. You should read Ratzinger's books, The Spirit and the Liturgy. So I'm all for, the, how do I say it? Not necessarily the Tridentine Latin Mass, because to me, what has happened is people have weaponized it against Vatican II, right? And just basically undermining the liturgical reform that we had and still have. It almost, places the TLM as an ideology. Like I was saying before.
I don't think most people who go to the TLM do that or really are thinking about that.
I disagree. Did you say most or how many?
Most.
Okay. Well, and when you say most, are you talking about the United States? What are you talking?
Just generally everywhere.
Well, I'm just going to say this because I don't have substantiated evidence. I don't have data to back this up, except for the fact of TC. But in my personal experiences, especially since I've converted 11 years ago, I have come across, I'll just say TLMers, and this doesn't encapsulate every TLMer, but I have, in my experience, the most that I've come across are these type of radical, and I'm not going to call them radical traditionalists, that's just too trite, but just radical ideologues, where it's just if you don't go to the TLM, it's not valid. If you don't receive on your tongue, you're sacrileging. If you don't kneel, it's irreverent. It becomes this pharisaical milieu. But where it gets really bad, that's not even the bad part. Where it gets really bad is when they turn it into an agenda where it's almost cult-like to the exclusion of other people, like Novus Ordo people, we'll call them for the sake of argument. And it's well, they're, indifferent. They don't have reverence or piety. They don't know sound doctrine or theology, and then they'll to justify that, they'll use all these liturgical abuses that have apparently happened. And then that just, double downs on their claims for, Novus Ordo and everything that I just said. So, but then they'll have these exclusive groups of TLMers where they'll almost ostracize themselves to anyone who isn't a TLMer. That's the problem. And then they use the TLM to undermine Vatican II and the liturgical reform. And that's when it becomes a problem. That's why Pope Francis, as the pastor of the church, restricted it, because he felt as though the TLM, not inherently, not of itself, but people in the West especially, were abusing it and idolizing it and turning it into an ideology. I seriously think that some people, whether it's unwittingly or it's obviously unwittingly, they're literally worshiping the liturgy instead of God. They're so infatuated with TLM that they're just worshiping the liturgy. So that's all I had. Sorry.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean, I'd agree those tendencies are problematic, but I just don't know if that is shared by the majority of the people who attend the TLM.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'll just go with Pope Francis and TC and just say that it was enough to restrict it. So you're right. So like, I'm not encapsulating you or anyone else on here that likes the TLM or, as a part of that environment or whatever. But Eusebius, I don't hate the TLM. Gosh, I said verbatim, intrinsically, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the TLM. It's probably the most beautiful, reverent, aesthetically pleasing, and true kind of worship per se, liturgically, that you can get. I just think that the TLM should be more accessible than it currently is. Hey, sure, but until people get out of this, again, and I don't want to call anyone a set of a contest, but I know tons of TLMers that just they dissented, not publicly, but they dissented from the Pope. They thought he was crazy and an anti-Pope because he restricted it. So they went with the TLM over subjecting themselves to the Pope.
like Mel Gibson when he was on Joe Rogan.
Right. That's
But he
exactly.
done a lot that did a lot of damage. Probably
Right.
could have done a lot of damage to someone that's struggling with this.
Mm-hmm.
Even like my personal friends, they're like, "Oh man, it's crazy what you said about the Pope. I didn't know that stuff." I'm like, you really do the research yourself before letting Mel Gibson sway decisions in your life.
Right. This is funny. This is a typo. I like the TLM just because the nervous odor. How is that a typo? You're telling me that's not deliberate? Nervous odor? Laura. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I thought smoke was going to be at 1 p.m. What time is it, Scholasticus? What time is the smoke?
Eric, I gotta run to
I don't know.
All right, see you, Andres. Thank you for coming up.
chatting with you guys. Everybody have a blessed day.
You too, man.
All right, God bless.
Now, let me rephrase that question, Scholasticus. What is the time window that they're given for the first vote?
I don't think there is one.
Well, what? They have to eat. They got to go to bed. They got to pray. I mean, what?
Yeah, but I don't think there's like a legally defined amount of time that they can spend.
Oh, okay. Nervous odor. That was Michael. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Speaking about the TLM, I mean, I've been to a lot of TLMs, and I've never really come across the experience where, even from I have never heard any homily from a priest at a TLM give like any kind of homily that's dissenting from His Holiness. So I can't say I've had an experience.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I agree with you 100%. I don't think it has anything to do with the clergy. Nothing. There's nothing to do with the clergy. Nothing.
Yeah, or just in general. I mean, yeah, I guess I don't really talk to people, so I can't say for sure. But I don't know. A lot of the people who I see attend the TLM on Sunday, I will see at daily mass at Novus Ordos. So, you know what I mean? I can't assume that they're not that they're dissenting or are choosing the liturgy over the Supreme Pontiff.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, I do sympathize with some of, I guess, the people who generally veer in this direction when they say, like, liberalism and liturgical abuses in the Novus Ordo are objectively just such bigger problems in the church right now than, like, radical traditionalism is. But it seems that they're getting disproportionate attention when it comes to disciplinary measures. So I do, in that way, understand their frustration. I do hope that, we need to be praying for the enforcement of ecclesiastical discipline, for the well-being of the church.
Yeah, and it's just what's interesting about it, Scholasticus, is like, what we see, I guess, in the media, the mass media and social media or whatever, and then in our personal lives, it's disproportionate and it doesn't line up always. And so some people will see what they see in their diocese, and then they'll read TC or they'll, the media or whatever, and there's this kind of seeming contradiction, and so I can empathize with that, because like Michael said, and I'm sure you guys probably go to the TLM and you don't experience any of the stuff that I just said, which is great. That's how it should be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Now, to what extent? I don't know to what extent it happens. I mean, me personally, in my 2 dioceses that I lived in, I noticed it a lot. And then obviously online, but you can't just, online data is just ridiculous. But nonetheless, I don't know. I'm all for reverence, but I don't like abuse. And yeah, abuse goes on both sides. Aloha from Hawaii. Love it. We like Hawaii. Anybody been to Hawaii?
I have. I went a couple of years ago.
Nice. Here it's beautiful. I hear it's
very expensive.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like there? Once you're there, that like the cost of living and the food and all that?
Yeah, I remember something like when you buy anything from their store, they charge an additional 10 cents per like shopping bag you use, like plastic bag or
Garbage. Just garbage. That's just ridiculous. Man. The first time I went to Aldi, I neither had a quarter nor a bag for my groceries. Yeah, that was the worst experience ever. I hated it.
I had to do DoorDash with that. I couldn't. There was a cart inside the store that I just took to use, and I think automatically if you try and have delivery ordered through DoorDash from Aldi, they automatically make you add bags to your cart for the Dasher. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
I had to. I had to take I just took some random cart I saw in the store. Hopefully it wasn't actually someone's cart, but I mean it was empty and off to the side. So.
Right. Hey, I got a question for you guys up here.
Alrighty.
I'm at 14,600 subscribers. When I get to 15,000, I'd like to do a live stream celebration, but I kind of want to get some peeps on here, like maybe Christian or somebody else. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be a cool idea.
Well, who should,
who should you get? I mean, I'd say Wagner if you can get him to.
Sure. I've had him on once.
Be the first person to interview the new Pope.
Say that again?
Be the first person to interview the new Pope.
Oh, you know who you should get? Remember you were telling me about your neighbor who knows someone from the Thomistic Institute? Maybe work in that connection?
Yeah. So, well, no. My neighbor across the street, her name's Mary. She attends the same parish as I do. Her brother is a Dominican priest at the Thomistic Institute.
What was the name of the priest again, Father?
Here, I'll show you my screen. It's I don't know how you actually pronounce it because it's her maiden name.
It's Father Thomas, right? Is the first name, or am I getting?
No, here, I'll show you. It's Andrew Hofer. I wonder if there's a picture.
Think you could get him on the channel if you asked him?
Oh yeah, and dude, he went on Father Mitch Pacwa's EWTN Live or whatever and just knocked it out of the park, dude. He's so smart. Well, he's a Dominican, like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Hold on, gosh, there's not a picture on this page. Are you kidding me?
That'd be a decent, if you could somehow work that, maybe have him come on for your 15K celebration.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I didn't even think of that. Here, let me just pull this up. This might be kind of cool. Here. Can I share? Okay, we're not going to see smoke for a little. So I'm just going to reshare this. Okay, 1 second. Hold on, guys. I'll go back to the smoke, okay? Just take it easy. So yeah, I don't know what his... Here, I'll just fast forward.
And the author of a book, The Power of Patristic Preaching, the Word in Our Flesh. Please welcome Father Andrew Hofer. Father Hofer, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you very
here.
much, Father. It's great to be here.
Good to have you here. Good to have you. Thank you for writing your book, too. How long have you been teaching patristics?
I've been teaching in Washington, D.C. at the Dominican House of Study since 2010.
Okay, all right. Was that your first?
Reminds me of Father Thomas Joseph White.
Yeah. Yeah, gosh, he looks just like his sister that lives across the street from me. Just, that's crazy.
The teacher?
It was my first assignment after my doctorate.
Okay, what happens when you get a Jesuit and a Dominican sitting down across from each other?
Debate on predestination.
Okay. But yeah, that's him. And he wrote a book. It was something to do with the patristic era. I don't know exactly what it was on or what the name of the book was, but they did a whole hour interview. So if you want to check it out, yeah, I'll talk to my neighbor and see if I can get him on. That'd be pretty cool.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. But yeah, you would love that, wouldn't you?
I would.
All right, let me go back to the conclave here.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask Scholasticus. Have you read The Science of Theology by Father Emmanuel Duranzo? Or Science of Sacred Theology? Okay. I'm about to start that today, so I didn't know if you had read it, if you had some thoughts.
Hey, we got another friend discerning the Dominican priesthood. Do you know, Michael, do you know this cat?
No, I haven't. There's a lot of scholastic guys on, I assume he probably is on Christian's live streams a lot, so.
Yeah. Scholasticus, do you want to come up here? We have another aspiring, discerning Dominican, Michael, here, if you want to talk. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I do have a list of all the books that I'd like to read, like on my laptop. So it's quite a bit. I think it's like 2 to 3 pages now.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna take a stab at the number of books that you have on there. I'd say maybe like 50.
I did learn yesterday, though, that one of the books on biblical studies I was planning on reading was actually condemned by the Holy Office under Pope Pius XI. So
interesting. What book was that?
It's called the Manual Biblique. It's by the Sulpician priest, Monsignor Drassak. Apparently, it has errors and stuff on like biblical inspiration and the like, which is interesting because one of the authors. What are you saying?
Oh, I said, what kind of errors are we talking about?
Like on, like it's like in the modernist, the latter half of the modernist crisis, like saying, inspiration, doesn't extend to every part of sacred scripture, that there can be historical errors in it and the like, which is interesting because it was authored by, it's called Manual Biblique. It was meant for seminarians, but one of the authors, Father Vigouroux, was actually himself a member of the Pontifical Biblical Commission, and he has a lot of good stuff on like archaeology, defending the historicity of the Bible, especially the Old Testament, in light of modern archaeology. And he's like a pretty conservative voice on that. So I thought, this should be a pretty reliable manual, but apparently not. So it's okay. There are others I found on a similar vein. So
yeah. Because I'm reading through volume 1 of the STS right now, and the section I'm going over is kind of defending the historical reliability of the Old Testament. That's the part I'm reading right now.
That's an interesting topic. Lobotomize, get back to class. Just kidding. You do what you want.
It was kind of hilarious too, as I was reading part of it, and just out of nowhere, they kind of went on a tangent, sort of critiquing one of Father Gary Gulagrange's positions.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Michael? I was typing stuff.
I was reading the STS, and it was kind of funny. They just had like this paragraph. They were talking about like the nature of revelation, and they I forget the name of the specific Jesuit priest who wrote Volume 1, but he was critiquing one of Father Gary Gulagrange's positions.
Oh, interesting. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. So basically, along the line, so Father Gary Gulagrange's position. So obviously, we can know the existence of God from natural reason, but the debate was over what attributes we can know specifically. So it seemed like, from how he was phrasing it, that Father Gary Gulagrange's position is that the attributes we can know are ones that have like a sort of similitude to creatures, so like goodness, but certain attributes that are kind of negation that don't have a similitude, like infinity and immutability, aren't necessarily something that can be achieved through natural reason. I guess that's his position, and then the Jesuit priest was kind of critiquing him a little bit on that.
I don't mean to correct you, but just in case you were wondering, it's similitude.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No. I know. I'm not here to. I'm just saying, like, in the future, maybe you might want to, in case. I don't know. It doesn't matter, dude. I know what you meant. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, what was I reading on that the other day about how? Well, I mean, really, it goes back to divine simplicity, and then any attribute that we have that kind of is a limited participation in the created order of the divine, like you were saying. What were you saying? Like goodness, beauty,
right,
mercy, trying to forgiveness. Yeah, absolutely. But it's they're attributes in the strict sense, whereas with God, they're not really attributes. I mean, we can call them attributes, but with God and divine simplicity, right? God is those things. It's not like God has those things as like components and parts, or right. Mercy is over here, and then we got justice over there. I mean, it's just all divine simplicity or whatever. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the distinctions are mainly just because of our limited human intellect, for us to understand. But yeah.
What is this? I'm good. Thanks for the opportunity. No problem. Have you heard about Joshua Sijawade's conversion to Eastern Orthodoxy? It's crazy how you can have a debate with a Mormon on the channel who knows you as Catholic having converted. Wait, was that Mormon that debated Trent Horn?
Yeah, Sijawade, he unfortunately became EO.
Wait, I gotta Google this dude. No way. Hold on.
Yeah, look up Joshua Sijawade on Facebook.
Why on Facebook?
Because he posted it on Facebook.
Oh, this guy. Oh, I know who this guy is. He debated Christian on monarchical Trinitarianism, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we affirm the monarchy of the Father. However, his model of the Trinity, it does have some confliction with the magisterium.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about.
That's why I feel like it's kind of a misnomer calling it monarchical Trinitarianism, because it's not like the Thomistic model does not. Obviously, the Thomistic model affirms the monarchy of the Father.
Right. Well, it's funny, like with the linguistics of the filioque and the Father being the principal source, we confirm that. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird when you get down to the pedantics of it. It's like, gosh, should we even really be having this conversation? I think they just they think that just any type of change, addition, development, evolving is it diverts from the substance of the truth that's contained or whatever.
This
and it's
isn't
like
even really that late of the development, because like even a lot of Eastern Orthodox admit that the Western Fathers pretty early on, since the time of like Saint Hilary and Augustine, teach the filioque. And even when it was added into the creed locally, at the Third Synod of Toledo. The Third Synod of Toledo was presided over by Saint Leander and attended by Saint Isidore, both of whom are venerated in Eastern Orthodoxy. Meanwhile, they're at a synod where they anathematize those who say that the Holy Spirit doesn't proceed from the Son.
That's funny.
And the Eastern Church was in communion with the Spanish Church for centuries after that.
Yep.
So
Yep. But no, that's what I'm saying. Oh, my mic is. That's what I'm saying, Scholasticus. So it's like, why have your? Sorry, hold on. My mic is like messed up here. Hold on. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why in principle, there's nothing that's really changed. There's nothing that you should be disagreeing with when it comes to the Latin West or whatever in principle. So it really took centuries of imperialistic politics and hubris to just be like, oh yeah, they're oh, my mic. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. My mic just like fell apart.
Yeah, it happens.
Dude. Okay, I think I fixed it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The Eastern Christianity has always suffered from Caesaropapism,
Yes,
and like government intervention in the church.
Well, but not only, but they've been stuck in that for 1,000 years. They've been stuck. Revelation does say Jesus will be subject to the Father.
I think we can say that like Christ as a human is subordinate to the divine will, but that doesn't imply any real inequality between the persons of the Father and the Son.
So I'm going to push back. No, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you 100%, but I'm just going to steel man that question and push back a little bit. So when it comes to verses like that, the Father is greater than I, and no one knows the day nor the hour except the Father nor the Son, all that stuff. Again, I'm just devil's advocate here. Isn't it kind of when theologians and Bible scholars say like, well, in his humanity or as a human, isn't that kind of Nestorianism and Janism? I can't even say it.
Well, if we understand the communication of idioms, right? When we talk about properties pertaining to the humanity or divinity of Christ, they are always applied to the person of the Word. However, the distinction should be made when we talk about things that are applicable via his humanity or via the divine nature. However, yes, it's perfectly fine to even say like the divine Son is subordinate to the Father in accordance with his humanity.
Yeah.
But there is no subordination in the divine essence. That is heresy.
Right. So like Christ acquiring experiential knowledge has, obviously that's as a human being, as a human, not person, but in his human nature, which is hypostatically united to, the Word. So it's not as if his nature alone is acquiring experiential knowledge, but that the person of the Word is through the instrumental cause of his human nature, right?
Well, so when we talk about Christ's human knowledge, we have to make the distinction between his infused knowledge and his acquired knowledge.
Right.
So
that's why I said I said experiential knowledge.
But there isn't anything our Lord in his humanity wouldn't intellectually know. I'm sure, as you know, the Ignoite heresy is condemned. But I think, like, for anybody who's kind of curious, this is how it kind of made me, like, able to understand. So let's take, this is kind of like a stupid example. Let's take the taste of pizza, for instance, right? Our Lord.
Wait. Are we talking deep dish, thin crust? What are we talking?
Okay, just let me explain.
I'm sorry.
So the taste of pizza, right? Our Lord would have known what pizza would have tasted like intellectually. So that would have been something in his infused knowledge. However, it would not have been a part of his acquired knowledge because he would have never experienced the taste of pizza through his taste buds in first century Palestine. So I think that's kind of how I sort of rationalized it in my head with the distinction between the infused and acquired knowledge.
Yeah. So that's why I said experiential. You said acquired. Experiential and acquired are the same thing. Because
right, but the official term is acquired knowledge.
Yeah, okay. All right. Hey, I'll concede to you, Mr. Gen Z theologian. But yeah, acquired, absolutely. There's that distinction between effused and acquired.
Yeah. And obviously,
But
like I said,
like his, so like, you know, Jansenism. Why can't I say that? Janism.
Jansenism.
Say it.
Jansenism.
Jansenism. Sorry. Jansenism, right? They were like a resurgence of Nestorianism, where they not attacked, but like they undermined the sacred humanity of Christ, especially the Sacred Heart. So they would call us, you know, because the Sacred Heart devotion came out in, I think, the late 17th century, right around the time as Jansenism did. And so they would say, like, you can't adore or worship his humanity because that's idolatry. You can't. Well,
I mean,
here's
that's
the
pretty
thing.
clearly condemned by Saint Cyril.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just, oh gosh, sorry. You made me lose my train of thought. What was I saying with this?
Talking about the adoration of Christ's humanity.
Yeah. So it's Nestorianism that dichotomizes the person or the word. Or I'm sorry, it doesn't well, yeah, it splits them up into two. So we got divine person, human person, and you're adoring this human person, or at least just the nature that's not hypostatically united to the divine person. And so I think it was, who was it? St. Pius X, right? Against modernity. But
Jansenism was centuries before him.
No, I know. What was my point in all this? What were we talking about, Michael?
I mean, just to piggyback off you, I mean, we shouldn't abstract the humanity of Christ like separate from the person of the Word. It's hypostatically united to the person of the Word. So I just think in general that kind of language should be avoided.
Were you talking to me? I was reiterating what the Jansians said.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like when we talk about the Sacred Heart devotion, right? There's obviously kind of the symbolism attached from it. But like, yeah, obviously in our worship and adoration, we're not supposed to be abstracting the humanity of Christ from the person of the Word. Mm-hmm. That it basically presupposes Nestorianism in a sense.
Yeah, that was my whole point with the Jansians. And like how they would claim that you can't adore his Sacred Heart, like his that's a part of his humanity. Well, then you're dividing Christ's natures and put him into Nestorian realm or whatever. But what are some good books on the Trinity? I'd just recommend St. Augustine's on the Trinity. If anyone else wants to
on the Trinity, An Introduction to Catholic Doctrine. It's by Father Gillis Emery. It's like 200 pages and it has a glossary in the back. Very good book on that. Like if you want like a good, just simple synthesis of Trinitarian doctrine, he kind of goes through all the basics. He goes through sacred scripture, the councils, the fathers, and then obviously from a Thomistic perspective, but he does a very good job. He was also on the International Theological Commission, and he taught at one of the top, I forget it, I think it's in Switzerland, the university he taught at for over 30 years. So he taught dogmatics. So he's definitely up there as a top theologian in the church.
Interesting. The Father wasn't the God of the Son until Jesus became flesh, because God is the God of the flesh, though the Father was still who gave Jesus his authority outside of Jesus' divine authority as God. What? I don't follow that. What's Pendragon? Can you clarify that for me?
The Son existed with the Father from all eternity. I don't understand what this.
I think he's quoting a heresy. I mean, I hope. I hope. Jansenists. Those monkeys.
I learned something interesting, actually, kind of relating to that. Apparently, I think Christ, in a private revelation, possibly to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, requested that the King of France consecrate France to the Sacred Heart in order to protect her from, from sin and darkness and error and the like. But he said that he knew that the king wouldn't consecrate France until it was too late. And so at the time, Louis XIV was king of France, and because he was influenced by, a lot of like Jansenist Gallican ideas, he didn't do it. But then, exactly 200 days, 200 years to the day after Christ said that, so this would be now in, I believe, in the late 1780s, early 1790s. On that exact day, the National Assembly in the French Revolution deprived Louis XVI of basically independent royal authority, and he tried to consecrate France to the Sacred Heart, but again, it was too late. So the French Revolution happened.
Interesting. Wow. Because the French Revolution was a catalyst for, a global shift in just everything. Wow, that's interesting. Scholastic Verity. Eric, do you think Father Garrigou-Lagrange was too harsh in the Nouvelle Theologie? At present, I think there needs to be unity between the new theology, which Vatican II picked up, and neo-scholasticism.
Eric and I kind of talked about this on the last stream. We kind of disagree, though.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I wish you could come up here, Scholastic. It just would be easier to hash this out. But so theological manuals for seminarians, when were they done away with? Do you guys know?
I don't know specifically. I think Scholastic is probably what
was it in the
They
20s or
weren't,
30s?
done away with in the sense that the church said no more manuals.
No, that's not what I mean.
Just not used
they
anymore
kind
in
of
the same way.
They kind of died out after the 60s with the implementation of reforms of seminary education. But there were some, like Father Austin Woodbury in what else? In Australia was in the 70s and 80s, and I think maybe in the 90s, publishing manual-like works. And even today, with now the Thomistic Institute and such, Father Thomas Joseph White, is clearly very influenced by those things. Even arguably Christian Wagner, and obviously this is at a much more informal level, but even at a more popular level, there's some vestiges of that tradition still existing. And Nouvelle Theologie isn't strictly a post-conciliar thing. It originated really at the beginning of the 20th century.
Where's Scholastic? Scholastic, do you dare hope that all will be saved?
I just think in general, I would like to see a more modern manual on moral theology, covering topics on more modern issues. I mean, the magisterium has been great at condemning these more modern issues, but I would like to see it, talked about in a moral theology manual in a systematic way.
There's the great debate about internet piracy and intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this, Pendragon. There are basically two types of authorities of the persons of the Trinity. Intrinsic, which is their authority from being God, and extrinsic, which is a boss's authority over an employee. I don't know if I'm following there.
I mean, is he talking about the economy?
Probably with sorry, I got something on my phone.
Yeah, I mean, the Son is eternally begotten and the Spirit eternally proceeds, but they're still co-eternal, co-equal persons. So you have to be careful with your language there. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry. When what is it? Philippians, Christ
emptied himself out.
Yes, thank you. Dude,
Yeah.
See? We're on the same wavelength, man.
Right.
You were ESPing me or whatever that is.
Yeah, it's just I don't really like the way he's phrasing it. It's not how we phrase things in Catholic theology.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's turns it into like a totalitarian schizophrenic situation there, especially within the essence.
When it comes to the salvation of others, I mean, yeah, obviously hell is not going to be empty. I mean, the majority of souls are going to be in hell. I think sacred scripture is clear on that, but we don't know the means on which God will save souls. So we always have to pray and hope for the salvation of each and every person we run into in our daily lives.
Dude, there was, again, seriously, there was a Jansenist bishop who was very adamant on the fewness of the saved. And he literally taught like only a few adults would be saved.
I was going to say,
well, I mean, there are saints who preach sermons on the fewness of the saved.
Yeah, St. Alphonsus has a pretty famous saying on that.
Wait, who just said that? Who was that?
That's me.
Oh, why did you sound so different? What?
It may be because I just moved locations. I have my laptop in my bed now, so maybe that's affecting the microphone.
Yeah, I'm like, who is talking right now? Can you repeat what you said? I don't think I even heard what you said. Fewness of the saved.
I was saying there are saints who give sermons on the fewness of the saved.
So this is how I'm. Go ahead.
Judge Anson's.
No, dude, I know. Yeah, I know. Scripture it's like replete. And then there are all these private revelations, you know, with Saint, who was it? I think it was Saint Dominic. And here's my thing. When you say fewness, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, because let's just take our context in time right now. What are there, 8 billion people? Or, well, I don't know. Is there 8 billion?
Alive right now, yes.
So even let's just say every single Catholic, which I'm not saying, by the way, but let's just say for the sake of argument that every single Catholic, 1.4 billion out of the 8 billion would be saved. That's few. You know what I mean? So it's really, what's the proportion here throughout all of salvation history? What do you mean by few? Because in some of these private revelations, it just was ridiculous. Like, oh, these were the only 2 people that died that were saved in this generation or this time span. And it's like, dude. And then when you read Revelation, right, it talks about the multitude of the nationalities and the ethnicities. It's like sand on the seashore of those who are in heaven. So again, it's like, well, in proportion to those who are in hell, yeah, it's probably few. That's how I kind of hermeneutically get through all that.
Yeah, I mean, just have to pray for as many souls to be saved as possible. I think that's the best way to.
Okay, this is a great point. Even though this is private revelation, it's a meditative prayer. It's not like liturgical or part of the deposit of faith. But yes, lead all souls to heaven. Also, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, right? Have mercy on us and help me, guys. Have mercy on us and
on the whole world.
Oh, the whole world. Well, if there are only a few going to be saved, right? That seems like a vain prayer to me. If you're praying for the salvation of the whole world or mercy on the whole world, and likewise with the Fatima prayer, lead all souls. But not only all souls, Scholastic, those in most need of what? Thy mercy. So really, yeah. And then Eucharistic prayer number, shiver me timbers. Which one talks about?
That, like, even if the original verbiage
I'm
of the
pretty
Fatima
familiar
prayer
with the Eucharistic
doesn't say,
prayer, so tell me along the lines which one you're talking about.
Sorry, Scholasticus was talking, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Am I like too quiet?
No, you just sound different.
Okay, but I was just saying, like, the point is, even if the Fatima prayer doesn't pray for the salvation of all, the point is, it's not a bad thing to pray for the salvation of all. Even if it's certain
Eric,
that
hello?
not all are going to be saved.
Yeah, someone was asking about the scripture passage. So if you remember when Christ was asked how many will be saved, and he said that the path that leads to the path that leads to the path that leads to destruction is wide. The path that leads to life is very narrow. Not only is it narrow and hard to tread, but few even find it, let alone tread it, let alone get through it. That would be the best for that, I think. Gosh, I heard or read of a private revelation. I think it was from a priest of the MIC, Marians of the Immaculate Conception, that at the end of your death, physical death, or at the end of your life, at your physical death, Christ will ask you 3 times if you want to be saved.
Isn't that the Diary of St. Faustina?
I think so, yeah. Any smoke yet, guys? Anybody want to go for a cigarette break?
No.
I'd go for a cigar break, not cigarettes. So
Yeah. Pastorally, I think more fewness of the saved sermons in the modern context would do more good than harm in the sense of scandalized about personal salvation. Yes, we are allowed to hope for it. Exactly. So, well, it could scandalize people in the other direction as well. But I think, yeah, people that are scrupulous to begin with, you know, if you hear this brimstone and fire, you know, only a few adult souls will be saved. Oh my gosh, people will, you know, get scrupulous and grow in despair. But at the same time, you don't want to just willy-nilly, like, yeah, you know, like lackadaisically just, hey, you know, we'll probably all be saved, so forget the ascetical practices and mortification. And yeah, there's always a balance and an equilibrium.
I think sermons about hell usually,
I mean,
from
St.
what I've
Francis de
seen,
Sales, it was like some kind of sermon on predestination, right, that caused his scruples.
Oh yeah, that's why the Pope said don't talk about it. You know, because you had the Molinists and the Thomists getting all in a tizzy.
I don't think that
Like,
was the reason why.
I was curious if you know, what was St. Francis de Sales' view on predestination?
I don't think I know he talks about the 2 wills, but I don't remember him really.
The only place he might talk about that is in his letters to,
like, if you had to
the
guess, what do you
Calvinists.
think? Which view he's probably subscribed to more?
I don't even know. Probably St. Thomas. You want me to get out my Denzinger? What do you want to look up in the Denzinger? I got it right behind me. Oh, yeah. Can you guys ask some questions or join? We're getting kind of bored over here, but I was curious on y'all's take on nicotine products in general.
In moderation.
Off the cuff. Well, here's the thing. Gosh, back in the 60s, priests, at least diocesan priests, and nuns would smoke, or sisters would smoke cigarettes, nicotine. And then obviously through the development and research of the correlation to the harmful effects, you know, it's probably it's a matter of prudence. But yeah, if you're smoking 2 packs a day, I mean, we're getting into the area of maybe grave matter, but you just got to temper your intake and make sure. I would just say don't make it habitual, because I know a lot of people, they vape, Catholics, whatever, or whoever, they vape and they vape all day, every day, and it's like, I don't think that's the most prudent thing you should be doing, because your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And for you to knowingly ingest or intake, rather, you know, whether it's a vape or if you're inhaling a cigar or a hookah or cigarettes, yeah, you're not doing the best thing. Weed, okay, outside of medicinal purposes, I will argue that it's grave matter. If anyone wants to debate me on that,
The difference between them is that marijuana causes you to lack use of reason,
Yes.
nicotine doesn't.
Yes.
That's the big difference. It's the
Well,
reason
that's-
why getting drunk is a sin.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, but the whole like, oh, I'm gonna smoke marijuana and just take a baby puff just for the sake of it. No, you smoke to get high. You don't smoke weed in moderation or use temperance. It's like, what? Vaping is a grave sin. You just gotta vape once in the morning, once before you go to bed, you're fine. Devil's lettuce. Dude, no, I thought that was PCP. Cleave to Antiquity did a reaction to Since 33 AD. When is that coming out, Ben?
4 p.m.
Oh my. Ben, hey, Ben, I love you. I do. I don't know how you can come back from that video. How do you I don't even think I don't think we could. What are you gonna talk about, man?
Yeah, bro casually got debunked.
Wait, what is this?
I think that's all the streams of this one chimney right now.
Oh.
How many people are viewing?
Frank Pavone. Interesting.
Wise Lion, no, it's still grave matter. Doesn't matter.
Thoughts on deviled eggs? Definitely morally
Gross,
illicit.
honestly.
Morally illicit. No, I like them. Are they cage free? What are we talking? No, just dude, that's how dangerous that line of thinking is.
Still grave matter, regardless.
Yeah, I nope.
How many people have fallen into lust on the pretext that they thought they could handle it? They thought they could handle some unnecessary occasion of sin and, and still did it anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true, my friend.
You guys need to pray for the virtue of temperance every single day. It's a virtue that's severely lacking in our modern day culture.
I think prudence is the one that's most lacking. But yeah, not to one up you. But yes, temperance. Yep. Yeah. Well, no smoke yet.
I know.
Should I change my thumbnail? Does it whack?
Bro said just wait for the response.
Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Shots fired. Shots fired. Ignatius of Antioch. What in the heck? Nice. Thanks for praying, Timothy. TBF, is that to be frank? Gosh, you guys in your... What is it? Not gonna lie. NGL. Not gonna make it. NGT... Or M... Yeah, whatever.
Attic,
Yes.
how are you doing, good man?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Someone else should come up here just to kind of get this more. I highly doubt that.
He did write stuff against Swiss Calvinists. So he might have said something about, how God, doesn't hate the reprobate absolutely, and that he isn't the author of sin. But he almost certainly did not say predestination, in its entirety is false, because that would be objectively heretical.
Right.
Scholastic.
Have you read the Catholic Controversy?
A little bit of it. Only
Oh,
as part on like ecclesiology, though.
It's nice. Or nice. It's good. I mean, it's nice.
Amen. Scholastic. Predestination is dogma.
Yeah. Wait, I have a wild story about the ongoing leaving a Protestant church to rejoin Catholic Church if you have. Do you want to come up here? Christian Zigny? We don't teach that the reprobate are predestined against the freedom of their will. Oh, he wants to come up. Nice. Love getting
Yeah, I
new
think I'm
people.
gonna go now. Honestly, it's
Yep.
Nothing's really happening, and
Yep.
I'll just. It's probably gonna be black smoke the first time anyway. So.
Yeah, no problem. See you, man.
All right.
You can
God
only
bless
stare at
Scholastic.
this one chimney for so long. All right, but God bless. Thank you.
Yep, you too. Are you door dashing right now?
I'm just pausing because I'm bored and I don't feel like dashing and I hate my job. But
Yeah.
I'll stick it out with you, Eric, to the bitter end.
Well, I have to. You're in your car?
Yeah.
Oh my. I'm gonna have to go at 3 p.m. for your time. I have an appointment to go to.
Wow.
Yeah. Well.
So Boslack, I mean, one of the key principles is consideration and reprobation only occur in the consequent will. Though a Calvinist is going to concede that reprobation only occurs in the consequent will as well.
Slimo. I've seen that picture somewhere. Are you on X? Are you the X handle comedian or whatever? DoorDash in your suit. DoorDash in your suite or your suit? I think you meant to say suit. What is this? So Benedict the 16th. What?
Did Pope Benedict the 16th said that St. Francis de Sales denied predestination?
Yeah, I don't think he did. Maybe the Calvinistic version of it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I would be curious to know if, like, what school of thought St. Francis of de Sales held to. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, I tried looking it up and I couldn't find any clear answers. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like he had a treatise specifically on predestination.
Hello, Christian.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Good. How are you?
Great. I've been a good follower of your channel for a couple months now.
Gosh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was because it's been you've been definitely a good part of the encouragement to leave my previous church and rejoin the faith.
What's your previous?
So, it was a Reformed Baptist that did not want to say that ever.
I'm sorry. That
They
what?
They never wanted to clarify that to anyone. It was definitely Baptist, but they pretty much hid all the Calvinist theology and the Reformed stuff from even people who were members.
Gotcha.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Where are you at in your journey? Are you discerning? Are you studying, praying, or what are you?
Oh, me and my fiance are definitely rejoining the Catholic faith. We're both baptized, and she's been confirmed, and I've done my first communion, and I'm looking to do confirmation in the fall.
Oh, wonderful! Congratulations, man. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah. I think we both fell away from the Catholic Church when we were younger. I think like just personal things, and for me, it was like not a good like catechism experience, and just not strong like push from my parents. So that's like led me to fall away, and then something like last summer led us to seek the Lord, and that for some reason brought us to this church, this Protestant church, and that's been like a pretty intense process.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's super. So a lot of them are from the South, even though we're in the Northeast right now. Uh, so it's a lot of like Southern Baptist, like cultural things, cultural like aspects about being a Christian, but with like a Reformed twist.
Interesting.
And we're like currently trying to leave. We've had to send in a resignation and like almost do like an exit interview. Feel like I'm in a job.
Oh, wow. Maybe they'll give you a
Yeah.
severance.
Yes. I hope.
That'd be nice.
No.
Get all
Yeah, that would be
your
nice.
get all your plate money offerings back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
man.
but it's been interesting. We've been really welcomed by our local parish, which was been really nice. And it's got like a good like young adults community, which is awesome.
Nice. And again, where
And
are you
like
at? I think you said.
in the like Boston area.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been up there.
So we were very sad to like be like I think we both committed fully to like rejoining the church like at the start of Lent. So like this has been like a really like intense time to become a Catholic. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm glad you're getting confirmed in the fall. That's great. That's great. What was the biggest
Yeah, like starting RCIA.
or yeah, that sorry. What was the
Yeah,
biggest
no.
I don't know, reason or thing that prompted you to go this route?
Yeah, I think so my fiance and I are for the start, we were both like atheists before we came to that Protestant church. So a lot of the time we spent like the early months we spent on like disproving atheism.
Mhm.
And then like at the start of this year, it became like what do we actually believe as Christians, like for ourselves, not just like disproving not so much just proving the presence of God, right? And looking at it's like why do we have a Bible, or how rather, right? What did the early church fathers think?
Right.
And that just sends you down a deep rabbit hole that I personally don't think you can end up anywhere else than the Catholic Church.
Right. Just give me 1 second. Daniel, can you I mean, I can't really do 50
I'm
things.
looking it up.
Oh.
I'll
Well,
look
can
it up.
you send me the link so I can share my screen or it doesn't matter. You don't have to share it with me because we'll keep the
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I can send the link to you if you want to look at it. I'm curious myself. Is it Daniel, is this the general audience for March 2nd, 2011?
That's what it says. Wednesday. That's the general audience Wednesdays. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to text it to you on Discord if you want to read it. It's supposed to be a praise of his life, so and it just seems like a bit strange that he would mention that if that was the case.
Right. Keith Nestor. Hold on a second. So, Christian, were there any church fathers that helped you out, or any authors or theologians or anything that helped you?
Yeah, I think all the Catholic Answers people have been really helpful. You've been super helpful too. Just like and even honestly, I don't like to say it this way, but even Protestants were helpful. I
Like
guess.
which ones? Like, give us some context there. No, I believe it.
Yeah, I think I watched that debate with um, James White and Voice of Reason.
Yeah.
that like I loved how Voice of Reason did, and you know, everyone always jokes about like poor James White driving people to the Catholic Church, but I kind of think it's a little true. And Gavin Ortland, I like one of my friends at this church like had me like prompted me to read this book by him, and I just didn't think it answered questions. Like I actually, and I feel like it almost sometimes like misrepresented some of the church fathers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like I just felt like underwhelmed by a lot of the Protestant position when I felt like a lot of the times the Catholic position was a lot more robust in quoting like historical evidence and early church evidence specifically.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the perfect word for it, is robust, because I mean everybody appeals to church history and antiquity and all that, but it seems, again, no offense to our Protestant brothers, it seems that they can't really quote it, or at least read it in full like the full the broad spectrum, they just take pieces of here and there to kind of muzzle in or whatever. And then it's interesting because I actually did a video on, I think it was titled James White, how many souls has James White converted to Catholicism? Because I was seeing in all of his debates and videos, like, James White made me Catholic, James White made me Catholic. And I honestly, like, those debates, I love watching them. I never would be in one. I always think they're just so polemical, but it's almost interesting because so many people like you and others are edified, and they start researching and doing their homework, and they end up Catholic. It's like, wow, okay, let's debate.
Yeah, and I think for a long time, I think I was almost like scared to like dive into the Catholic and Protestant debate. Like while I was a Protestant, I was almost like, I don't know, scared of what I might come out with. I think I had a lot of hurt, like almost like made up hurt in my mind from the Catholic Church, just from my own experience and then my fiance's own experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that like, but I can't put that on Christ's Church, like my own personal experience is not.
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. That's not smoke. Look at that cloud. I'm sorry to cut you off, Christian.
Oh, yeah, no.
Does that not look like black smoke?
on
the upper right, guys.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Yeah, especially with the lighting, right?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, but then I look at the other picture. I'm like, there's no smoke coming out. So it's just a cloud.
Eric, I skimmed through it. I don't really see anything in here. I can read you the section where he talks about predestinate. There's like 2 paragraphs here that even talk about like St. Francis de Sales and predestination.
Daniel, are you here? Yeah, go ahead and read it.
In his harmonious youth, reflection on the thought of St. Augustine and of St. Thomas Aquinas led to a deep crisis. This prompted him to question his own eternal salvation and the predestination of God concerning himself. He suffered as a true spiritual drama the principal theological issues of his time. He prayed intensely, but was so fiercely tormented by doubt that for a few weeks he could barely eat or sleep. At the climax of his trial, he went to the Dominicans' church in Paris and opened his heart and prayed in these words: "Whatever happens, Lord, you hold all things in your hands, and whose ways are justice and truth. Whatever you have ordained for me, you who are ever a just judge and a merciful Father, I will love you, Lord. I will love you here, O my God, and I will always hope in your mercy and will always repeat your praise. O Lord Jesus, you will always be my hope and my salvation in the land of living." The rest of it just kind of goes over the rest of his life. That's the only I skimmed it. I didn't read it super carefully, but that was like the only section about it that even seemed to talk about predestination.
So, Scholastic Veritas. Eric, do you think the Washington bill passed that legally required priests to break the seal of confession in case of child abuse is going to have a practical effect on the clergy and laity there? Yeah, I hope they buckle up and don't put up with that kind of baloney. It's that you're getting into the dangerous territory, right? Where you are mandating that priests or people, right, are
Oh, there's smoke. There's actual smoke this time.
Oh, black. It's black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's black, guys. There it is.
Oh man. If anything, I think they just need to require confessions to be anonymous there. I think, and then just have the confessional set up so that the priest doesn't have a way of has plausible deniability to know whose confession he's hearing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's how I would set if I was the bishop. Like I said, have the confessionals in each parish set up that the priest would have no way of knowing who they're, like some kind of like clear set barrier door, just so that the priest has plausible deniability. And like I said, require all confessions to be done anonymously. That's how I handle it.
All right, guys. I really got to go. I'm toast. But thank you for hopping on, Christian, and everybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Pendragon, did you just want to say something really quick, or Christopher?
I'm good, guys. God bless you guys. I'll catch you guys next time.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, peace, guys. I gotta go. Okay. Please, guys, like, subscribe, consider becoming a member. Right, we're all in this together. We love you. Right.
Yep. God bless.
God bless, guys. Praise be Jesus and Mary. Pray for the new Pope. That's still going out. I think it's nap time, guys. When is the next? It's tomorrow. Hold on. Can someone please in the comments tell me when is the next vote? It's tomorrow. I would assume tomorrow morning for Rome time. Pendragon.
It's going to be like 2 meetings in the morning and then like 2 in the evening.
Say that one more time.
It's going to be like 2 sessions in the morning and then 2 after they break for lunch.
Okay. Miller, I can't, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jay, have you ever told me what you do for work?
Sorry, my internet is cutting out.
Black smoke. I'm doing a 24-hour stream when people like and subscribe, or yeah. I'll do a 24-hour stream someday. Okay, guys, love you. Praise be Jesus and Mary.